Yeah. Hi, good morning, everyone. Sarah Forgani here. Today's a very exciting day, and it's big news out of San Antonio because this lovely woman that is sitting right here next to me on the other side in Washington, D.C., over Zoom in her hotel room is Adriana Abundis. She is a local teacher out of San Antonio ISD. She is currently a high school teacher at Lanier High School teaching algebra, and she is being recognized with an award on a national level. Out of 50 people, she is now one of the top 5 finalists in DC as we speak. So I want you to all meet Adriana Abundis. Incredible story. She's also, by the way, our former KINS 5 Excel Award winner from back in 2018. So you're just racking on those awards, Adriana. It's so good to hear the news about you now going national with this.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. It's so great to reconnect with you and just continue learning more about you. You're such a fantastic individual. And yes, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, let's talk about you. So you're now.
Well, all of this is just so affirming, because I, like most people, have my insecurities, especially about my career. It's not something you typically see Mexican-American female role models in terms of media or receiving recognition. So it's such an affirming experience to have. They've been compounded affirming experiences, and it just builds for a stronger voice. I believe and trust in myself a whole lot more than I did, say, 10 years ago when I began my journey as a pedagogue.
I remember when we gave you the KINS 5 Excel Award, you'd only been teaching for 6 or 7 years at the time. So you were fairly a young teacher in comparison to a lot of the awards that we give out to veterans. But you had such a big influence on your students at the time. And it was Irving Middle School then, and you were still teaching math, right, at the time.
Yes.
But I remember speaking to some of your kids who were saying that they were failing before they walked into your math class. And because of you, because of the way that you were able to teach them these lessons and relate to them, and in some instances they couldn't speak English, and you were able to use your dual language skills to help them, they passed and they became successful as a result of you.
Oh, wow. I always tell them it was all them. I appreciate you. I think it was a recipe, right, for success. And Irving Middle School was a school who was typically found at like the lower end of our academic success ratings. And that year, we just gave it all we got. We gave it all we had. And that year, we finished first place in the district for 8th grade mathematics. And that includes students who were emergent bilinguals, just developing their English literacy skills, taking this test in 100% English and doing better than their monolingual peers. So dual language pedagogy definitely works. And it's more than just an academic framework. It's a framework that comes from here, from the soul, that allows us to reconnect with our students and celebrate them wholly, and not just the parts that we've identified to be academically superior, but every single thing that they bring with them to the classroom was the reason why we got that number one.
Yeah, and since then, you've racked on an award after an award, and now you're going national with this. So tell us about this. This is the NEA Foundation Member Benefits Award, correct?
Yes.
And you're one of the top 5 finalists. Today you find out who wins. The one person wins $25,000. How did you get to this point?
Yeah, so it was a process and a journey. Ultimately, it came from my recognitions from the previous awards that I had received, and my name just made it to the Texas State Teachers Association, who called me and asked me to be the nominee and to complete a rigorous application process. And a couple months after that, we got the news, and it's just an honor. Once I learned about the NEA and what they did for our teacher community and our student communities, what better organization to represent and to be chosen by than this organization who focuses on a lot of the same values that I have in teaching: equity, justice, language, love, and support. just love and humanity in the classroom. So if anything, I'm really honored that it's the NEA, and I'm super excited about tonight. You know, win or lose, top 5, baby. You know, I'm very excited and proud, and I couldn't be here without my students. They're the ones that make me look good, right? They're the reason why I have this voice and these experiences to share in these application processes.
So for those of you watching us now, and those who never really got to hear your background, you are a first generation of everything in your family. I remember writing your story, and I was so inspired by you, and even everyone else who watched it told me the same thing, because it wasn't easy for you growing up. I mean, it took a lot of persistence and determination. So give us a little bit about your background.
Yes, thank you. I grew up in Southern California. I was fortunate enough to be raised by both my mom and dad and grandmother. And my parents were working class Mexican people. They had migrated north from Mexico in their teens, 14 and 13. And I think it was their drive and their sort of quest for a better life, even if it meant doing it alone, that resonated with me, that trickled down generationally to me, because they were at work a lot. They had alternating shifts. One was there in the morning, one was there at night, and it was definitely through their hard work ethic and what I wanted to give back to them after seeing them in these physically demanding roles. I would see them come home exhausted and tired. And I wanted to create a life for us, for our legacy, that would allow them to rest, to enjoy the perks of life. So I was very committed to education from a young age, in part because it was really affirming. To get the pat on the back from the teacher, to have a teacher tell me that I was brilliant, that I was intelligent, it really transformed the way I saw myself. And I just knew I had to go to college, even though there wasn't a path already created for me. Yeah. So I did my research. I tried my best at locating the college that was best for me. And I ultimately went to Michigan State University. And that in itself was a change. As a Mexican-American woman from Southern California, going to the predominantly white institution was a culture shock. And in beautiful ways, it forced me to recognize not just my sort of economic background, but my cultural background and how important it is as a Chicana to do this for our people. And that's what ultimately drove me. I have 3 younger sisters. I wanted to be a role model for them and all of my dozen cousins, because if they see one of us do it, any of us can do it.
Look, you're one of those stories where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
You were younger, even before you went to college. I remember you telling me that at one point, your mom was telling you, no, you can't go to school because I can't take you. I got to work. And your dad was telling you, you can't take your SATs. We need the money so you can eat. And then what did you tell me at the time? What did you choose?
Oh, man, I remember that day. I chose to eat. I knew what my father could provide, and I knew if I ate, my sisters also ate. It wasn't just a decision that I was making for myself. But at that point, I realized, okay, I got to put up my own weight. I have to put in my own, and I got a job. As soon as I heard those words, that I got a job at McDonald's, and I remember walking to work, just happily in my uniform, just knowing that I was going to be able to fund these tests and fund my education.
Yeah. And today, that award, you're up for $25,000 if you win the top spot, right?
Yes, it's very exciting.
And your family is joining you in DC?
They are. This is a dream come true in that this is our first family trip. We're calling it like our girls trip because it's my mother and my 3 sisters. And I've just been so fortunate enough to be able to be in a space to invite them and to host them here and to travel with them. Because I've had, like you mentioned, a lot of these, beautiful recognitions, but all but one, I had family members there. So I needed them to be there as a comfort and just to see what we created.
And for those who are not familiar, again, with the NEA, it is a public charity that is created by educators for educators and for the well-being of students across the country. So they encourage, teachers to be the best that they can be and to turn in really great lessons. And then they choose from among 50 teachers, one from each state, correct?
Yes.
It's one from each state. They choose the finalists. And here's Adriana Bundiz from San Antonio Independent School District representing us in Washington, D.C. this morning. What an exciting day for you. I know you get to find out tonight if you won. How is that? How do you feel right now? What's next for you when we hang up?
I'm very excited. Processing everything that's happening, it's just a blessing to be here with my family. It's a blessing to be selected top 50 to represent a state that is now my home, to represent a school that is the underdog, that deserves all of the love. When I think about the possibility of winning, I just see it as a possibility and an opportunity for my school, Lanier High School, and my district, San Antonio Independent School District, to be given acknowledgement as a true urban educational bright light, North Star. I know that's what we're working towards. And again, as a Mexican-American woman, I want other teachers who might identify the same to see themselves in this win. But win or lose, this is an accomplishment. I'm so overjoyed. I'm just excited, to dress up in a gala attire I was unfamiliar with. So it's an exciting environment to be around nonetheless. And I just hope everyone has a safe night and that everyone gets to enjoy their time with their family today.
Well, I'm going to tell you, so not only are you an inspiration for adults, but as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking your students at Lanier High School, those who are especially going through hardships in their lives and maybe down, but they're probably looking at you right now and thinking, wow, she had it tough too. And if she can do it, and if she could get to where she is today, so can I. Do you ever have those discussions with your kids and share your story?
Always, always, always. And I always ask them about theirs, right? I want to show them and model them vulnerability, show them that the archetypical teacher that we see on TV, that we've seen in the past through media doesn't exist. We're all human beings. We're complex individuals. And we come with both our own sadness, our own traumas, and our wins and our triumphs. And that's a part of the experience of being a human. And that's what education and learning is all about, the transformation of the individual, of the whole, of the person. So I would feel that I would not be giving them my true self if I didn't share with them the transformation that I've had in my life and creating space for them to share their transformations or where they are on their transformational journey. Because when you see a student, in August at the beginning of the year to who they are in June, they've transformed so much academically and spiritually, in terms of believing in themselves and having a accumulated drive for more. And it's been an honor to be at Lanier High School and to see my students. When I look into their eyes, I see the dream that I had, 10 years ago. When I hear their vulnerabilities and what they want out of life, I see the dream. And I'm just so inspired every day to be around them. So I'm still in this transformational process myself on my path to become a better person. And they've really shown me that. They've shown me how to love. I can say that. My kids are the ones who showed me what real love is and the ones who showed me how to love and how to give love.
And you're teaching algebra dual language, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You get to use a lot of your Spanish skills in the classroom?
Yes, enseñamos álgebra 1 en español, and this is an honor because part of the reason why my parents weren't able to graduate high school was because of I don't even want to say inability. I think these teachers chose not to teach my parents in Spanish or to give them that support. So to be able to sort of redeem my family and that legacy by teaching our students in Spanish is so beautiful. And what's exciting is that these classes are not only for Spanish dominant speaking students. It's also for students who are heritage Spanish speakers who perhaps have grown up with Spanish, but through the Americanization or assimilation processes of the American education system, they've lost that tongue, right? They've lost that gift. So it's really beautiful to see that tongue sort of build back. My grandmother says that language is like a rose. Once it's cut, it grows back even more beautiful. So to know that our students are able to regain their culture, and to know that our students who have Honduran, Guatemalan, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan, Mexican culture, and that they're able to celebrate that in these dual language class spaces makes my life. You know, I'm in awe every day when I see them and when I get to interact with them. And not that test scores are important, but they matter in terms of how kids view themselves right now. And I just can't wait for that day in a week where they see their scores and they realize how truly intelligent they are and how powerful and how much of an asset their bilingual identity is.
Well, listen, also the pandemic hit teachers pretty hard. It's been a very difficult couple of years for teachers. You hear that over and over from all the ones I've spoken to. And now more and more we're seeing teachers who are leaving the classrooms. They're discouraged. They're not happy with the conditions, the situations that they're in, the pay, a lot of factors, right? But some still have a lot of passion. They want to stay in. Maybe they haven't figured out their footing. What advice would you give them to get to where you are today, being so happy and satisfied, and also being really good at your job?
Wow, thank you. What advice would I have? I think we, just as people, second guess our intuition. And whether leaving the classroom is for you or not, trust what the next move is for you. Trust what your soul is telling you to do. It's been a tremendously exhausting year. I have not suffered the amount of mental health exhaustion and stress and even depression that I've ever had as a teacher until this year. It's traumatizing, not just for us as staff, but for our students to know that we come to school between deaths, right, of families and family members. We come to school through these compounded crises, whether it's mental health, physical health, or a lot of the racism that we've seen more now through media. And it's tough to go to school when you just want to be with your family and make sure that they're safe and make sure that they're protected. So first, I want to tell all pedagogues and all educators, do what you got to do. We need to survive also. We need to center ourselves as well. Those of us who are choosing to continue on, the fight continues, right? We're all fighting for educational equity for our students. We all have a socially just passion, and trust that if you have a day where you're tired and you need to take the day off, we're here to support you. You have an army of teachers across the state and across the country who want the same thing as you and who will pick you up in those moments where you feel down, because those moments are very human. And in those moments, we transform. And in those moments, we feel whole. So it's a complex identity. Feel the feelings, and it's okay to not feel okay. Always remember and rest assured that you have people that care, that love you, that are proud of you, in all that you've created so far, all the impact that you've done so far. I love working with my fellow teachers and my fellow students as teachers. And I trust that they'll do what's right for them. And personally, I chose that was right for me was to continue my career as a teacher during this very difficult time.
That's a good point you made, though, that even you are having a difficult time.
Oh, yeah.
You lean on other teachers and you lean on others for support. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to open up and say, I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do, I don't know how. So, well, it's so wonderful catching up with you and talking to you. And again, really excited about your award today. I shared your post yesterday and I put up a picture this morning, and you could just see so much support. I think San Antonio is rooting for you. excited you were presenting us in DC. So bring home that award, regardless. You've achieved so much already, being in the top 5 finalists. We're talking to you now, being up there representing San Antonio. So we'll catch up tonight when the award is done. Text me or call me, and
I will text you for sure, without a doubt.
we can update and let everyone know if Adriana Abundis came out on top. And good luck to you tonight.
Thank you so much. All the love, all the peace, all the light to you, Sarah, and you and your family, and everyone in San Antonio, and everyone on the west side. I want to throw them a big abrazo, a big hug.
Thank you, Adriana, and have a safe trip home too.
Thank you.
Bye.